So I wanted to show you my solution. I've been freaking out because the ducks, I'm afraid their feet are freezing. And you already know what I do for water for the goats, is that I have their water bucket here where it stays really nice and clean. The water that actually is in the blue is, I put it in clean, but it warms up a little more so it gets kind of green and nasty. So the heater goes into that bucket, which is also full of water, so that the water heater has more mass to heat so that it stays warm longer rather than a small bucket that has less mass. And then I was thinking yesterday, oh my gosh, do I need to just plug in another water heater? Because I really, really want to keep these ducks from getting cold the way that they're getting cold. And I thought, you know what, I could just extend this to a duck pond. So what I did is I took their duck pool and I put everything else into the duck pool so that all the water is still connected to each other. And then I filled it up with water. So now the ducks can get into the water and warm up if they need to. They would fit out in the greenhouse just fine. The problem is that they don't like it in there. I've tried to keep them in the little greenhouse here that's actually on the chicken coop, and they don't like it. Every time I've tried to keep ducks in it, they get really sad. The chickens have the good sense to stay in the greenhouse, but the ducks, they just don't. They'll come out here on the cold snow, and they'll just hunker down on their feet. And you see, even now, this little duck is shivering a little bit. Now, this water should actually be quite warm. Let's see. It is probably 50 degrees. It's quite warm. I do have food for the ducks. I really worry about my ducks in the winter. My girls, they're looking pretty good. This is the bedding that I will come in and collect when I'm ready to build my hotbed. So the reason I'm not cleaning it out, I need to add a little bit more wood mulch because this good hot manure will be really good for the hotbed come the end of January. So there they all are. I have half of the rabbits out in the greenhouse, half of them here. My difficulty right now is in keeping enough water for the bunnies. Winter can be such a struggle when it comes to just keeping your animals comfortable. And that's why I'm so excited to have the greenhouse to experiment with it a little bit to see if we can't keep them more comfortable. So I'm out here right now to milk. I'm going to get the girls one more bucket of water just to top them off. I'm going to give them their hay. Hi, Mama. I'm going to check that the ducks have enough food. It looks like I need to give the rabbits some more water. Paige just gave them water, but either they tipped it over or they've already drunk it all. That's the thing with rabbits. They drink a lot of water, and in the winter, you have to check on them several times to make sure that they haven't drunk it all or that it isn't frozen. So there's what we're doing right now, and I'm going to go get my chores done. So we are having something of a heat wave. It is in the 20s today, where last week we had anywhere from -4 to 4 above. And so it's quite warm. It feels balmy. I'm out here in just a long sleeve shirt. My nutty ducks are talking. So it's a happier time to be outside. Now, and then you have something like the situation that Hare is dealing with over at Appalachian Homesteads, and she has rain. So depending on the region of the country that you are in, what constitutes bad weather or difficult weather for farmers to be out in is so completely different. Here, it's the bitter cold. If we have a lot of clouds in the sky, we will get snow and warmer temperatures. If we have a completely open, clear sky, we have a tendency to have very cold, very harsh temperatures. And so the sunshine is not always a blessing here because it brings such cold temperatures. Personally, I prefer lots of snow and warmer temperatures. It's just a lot easier on the animals. If it got really, really cold, really, really bitter, what I would do is that I would force all of the ducks into the greenhouse, into this greenhouse, and then I would put a wool blanket over the door, or I'd put the door in. That's the door right there. I'd put the door in to force them to stay in there. I'd put all of their food and water in it so that they had what they need, and even though they don't like it in there and they'd rather be out freezing their feet off, I just would have to not care. They just really prefer to be out here and be able to move around. I guess I can't blame them. So go check out Patera's channel, Appalachian Homesteads. I will put her farmer out in the rain video on a card, so look for the eye with the circle around it. Put your cursor over it and it will bring that video right up, so you can go check her out. And she does things different. We're just in such different regions, but go check her out and we'll talk to you later.